My favorite thing about Shipt since I signed up for Target Circle 360? No price markups when I order same-day delivery from tons of local stores. Only a handful of alcohol retailers and items don't count. I won't lie, I've had too much fun being like, markups on groceries? Not in my fridge. Markups on pet food? Not for my DOG. Markups on tools, electronics, home goods, meds? Not in my house. Anyway, it's awesome. Order now at shipt.com/360. Terms apply.
ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track. And ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
You want the best for your vision, and that starts with where you go. Essilor experts are independent eye care professionals who will listen carefully to your vision preferences and recommend Essilor lenses with the latest technologies to correct and protect your eyes. Find your local Essilor expert at Essilor.com.
Hello, hello, hello.
What up, bitches? It's time for See You Next Tuesday. And like we told you last week, we'd see you next Tuesday. And here we are.
We're following up on that fucking threat. It was a threat. And that's why we're here. To make good on that promise. Seeing us, hearing us. And we're here. And someone didn't make the cutoff.
No. And I'm going to name them Mary, because we gave them an extension.
Yeah. Mary said, I'm going to come back to this and write my full response later. And you told Mary, you got an hour before we record. Mary said, well, damn, you have time now. We're not recording until tomorrow. Tomorrow is now today. And Mary said, oh, amazing. Let me get into the right mind place or palace. Mind palace. Mm-hmm. And then I responded this morning. I said, Mary, hurry. And it doesn't even say red. Someone is working. Yeah. Someone is working.
Ironically, a lot of their job is on Instagram.
Yeah, but, you know, they also sometimes have to really stay off the Instagram because it can be triggering, traumatizing. Yeah. Join our Patreon to learn all about people's work lives that we talk about on the podcast. Well, welcome. This is See You Next Tuesday, where we read the results from last week's episode of But Am I Wrong? Last week's episode was episode 145. And Melissa is first up.
Melissa proposes a new agency to take down the monsters in our society. And we have a great picture here of Olivia Pope. Speaking of, yesterday was Fitz's birthday. They had their...
She posted what, a sex tape? Like...
talking about my TV love of my life. And I'm like, remove TV. And everybody in the comments like, we can't do this. Stop.
No, they will never stop because it is real for them.
Yes. 7% said I was wrong. 93% said I was not wrong. Higher than I was expecting, TBH.
You got that sway.
Someone said, the only reason I think this is wrong is that we have this process for a reason. And if people that are evil don't get a trial, granted the crimes people you listed were definitely evil, that can be used by the wrong side to just decide people are evil and don't need a trial. Like, they can just be like, that gay person is a threat to kids, no trial. I'm just so nervous. It's a slippery slope. But like, y'all can just be the agency, then yes. That was the whole thing, is that we are the agency.
Exactly. We recognize the corruption and we said, we can corrupt better than you can corrupt. Let us in.
Yeah.
Let me in, coach. Put me in. Speaking
of, both my brother-in-laws are coaching my nephew's little football team.
Stop.
And I before I got on the plane, I went and watched it. It was so cute seeing both of them out there.
That is really cute.
Someone else said, I only feel comfortable with this if Melissa's the head of the agency because I trust her moral compass. Correct. Someone else said, personally, if I were ever to become president, I'm scrapping America from the top down. We're starting from fresh new laws and everything. The first thing I'm doing is firing all the police and putting America on a 2-week lockdown so that we can figure this shit out. In the meantime, I'll put my strongest lesbians on the force to keep us safe until we can figure out a new kind of law enforcement. So yeah, I'm down for the entire new agency.
In the words of Billy Eichner, let's go, lesbians. Have you seen that clip?
I don't think so.
Oh, it is one of the Billy on the Streets.
I feel like I've seen every clip multiple times, but I've missed this one.
It is so funny, and it has become such a viral sound that like now anytime there's like a gaggle of lesbian or something, all of the top comments in the video is like, let's go, lesbians.
Miss this one.
And I just hear it in his voice.
And then someone else say, hard agree, but the non-negotiable condition that Meghan and Melisa are in charge of that agency. Yep. Another person said, I'm only voting wrong because the turds in power would abuse it and classify the wrong violations or circumstances as eligible to skirt process. We are the turds, so we're not turds.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else said, I don't know if I misunderstood maybe. To me, it sounded a bit too much like disregarding due process, which I can never agree with, even though I agree that society would be better without monsters, and there are plenty. I just don't see how that would work, especially now when there's an actual threat to do just that. And making up a new agency with special powers to do just that has never gone down well in history. I don't agree with pardons in the first place because that undermines the justice system. I don't think they should be a thing. Get a new trial or exonerate. Other than that, nope, maybe I got this wrong. I'm totally open to that. And I've spent hours trying to figure out if maybe it's not that deep, or if I'm too privileged to understand, or if I'm just overthinking, or maybe I'm just being too autistic.
I think a lot of people want to be like, well, just fix the system you have and scrap it and do all that. It's not working.
Mm-hmm.
People have tried. So when they, in the words of the edited version of Michelle Obama's, when they go low, how about I go lower?
I go to the gutter.
Mm-hmm. Catch me in a ditch.
Someone else said, I think it would be a good idea if people could be truly objective, as they can't. No one can be in charge of this or appointed or elected to do this job, as the risk of just arresting people who simply disagree with the country's leader or something like this is way too high. I wouldn't do that.
There's no amount of power they could get to our heads like that. Like, just know if we got like a lot of power, like we're going to the spa. Like, we're like, I'm putting frozen yogurt machines in high schools. Like, we're not like, if you give me too much power, like we're not on the golf course, like negotiating with like oligarchs about like oil. First of all, I can't do math. Big numbers like that stress me out. Like,
no, I'm not accepting a plane as the new Air Force One.
No. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to build the high-speed rail.
Right. Like, I will accept a foot massage.
We're going to move the canoe slalom back to Los Angeles, and we're going to put it in Universal Studios.
Right.
Like, us on a power-hungry trip is more like a kid in a candy store. And not a big
candy
kid.
store.
A little
I could go get some candy.
Exactly.
For free.
I would be like, how about we actually make Willy Wonka's chocolate factory a real place? Give me an edible flower. Yeah.
Give me a chocolate pool that I can only have access to. That's as far as my power goes.
No, that's as far as like the hoarding of the wealth. Melissa goes, I've got a live an issue with the contamination. Can can this one just be for me?
Yeah.
You can all have one too. Can I have one that's just you don't put your grubby little fingers in?
Yeah. Someone else said Melissa's speech was so fucking amazing. Thank you. And then another person said, monsters deserve automatic jail. Can this new agency also give housing and mental health care to the unhoused? No. And the reason is because that would be a separate agency. The problem is that we have too many things under one umbrella. That's what the police is. There's too much under one umbrella. We've got to separate them.
Yep.
I don't know you too well, so I can't say if you could be in charge of it, but I would put
our best Sims workers on that.
I was thinking in our Patreon.
Charity. Charity's fantastic.
Charity. Yes.
Sims.
You're right. Yeah.
Our number one Sims. We're putting our number one Sims bitch on that.
Yeah. Charity's in charge. There we go. Then they said, I feel like having that balance of putting away monsters and supporting others would make for a very balanced job. Nah. People just need to be doing one job.
You get one wife. Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. We've talked about OneSkin before. Did you know your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called, what are they called, Melissa?
Zombie cells.
These cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and they start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells, though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin.
Founded by an all-woman team of scientists, OneSkin is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. OS1 is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. Don't just take our word for it, though. They've got over 4,000 5-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel-sized products.
But if you want to take our word for it, know that we love them. We are using them constantly. The OS1, the way it goes on, so easy, so simple. You notice a huge difference with them, and your skin looks great.
Yeah, I have become a fan of the Rich Eye Cream because it's like thick, but it's lightweight, and I can just easily use it as part of my routine.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started with 15% off using code BLAMEME at oneskin.co.
That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
Thank you to today's sponsor, HelloFresh. Fresh air, sunshine, and good food. That is what spring is all about.
That's my favorite thing about spring. All three of those.
HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats.
Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal, fresh produce, and proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep. Flexible deliveries that you can pause or skip when you need.
I have to be honest with you. We've worked with HelloFresh before. I have gotten many
years.
No, truly, and I've gotten countless HelloFresh boxes. This might be the menu that I have been the most excited for. I cannot wait. I am getting the Mushu pork lettuce wraps. Oh, hello, yes. And then I guess I'm in a porky mood. Pork chops with a zesty green onion salsa. Never had I love that. These are things that I would never think to cook myself, and also I don't know, pre-portioned, so easy and so delicious. I cannot wait to try everything.
Yeah, I'm getting the cheesy smothered mushroom chicken, which mushrooms and chicken are two of my favorite things.
And I love them together.
I do too. I've been actually using a HelloFresh recipe in my rotation for years. I'm also getting the balsamic glazed steak, which I can't wait.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love steak, and I feel like steak is one of the pillars of warmer weather.
It is. It's very springy.
It is. It is. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/BlameMe10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life.
1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Then we have Megan says, playing on insecurities is a terrible way to promote your business. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong. And this woman has, in fact, deleted her TikTok. She has reverted back to using an Instagram that she only used in 2023. And I don't think if any of the photos include the Lord Farquaad bob nor the anal beads necklace. So she's really seeing how that was actually quite detrimental to the product that she was selling.
Okay.
Someone said, this woman has some major internalized misogyny to work through. This whole thing pissed me off so much. To even act like every woman needs to look flattering every time she leaves the house is just playing into the patriarchal narratives, not even touching on the fact that flattering usually means skinnier in these circles. The mom likely needs to be comfortable and practical first and foremost, and she doesn't need to be in full glam just so a random lady is happy. Yeah, because she kept using the term flattering. And I'm like, do you want to fuck her? Like, what
right.
is...
You know what I had on the plane?
Mm-hmm.
I had on joggers, sweatpants with compression socks on so you could fully see them. My Dr. Scholl's shoes.
Get it?
A white t-shirt and then a blue cardigan over that. So, flatter that bitch.
Yeah, stunning. Oh, someone said, and yet advertisers won't stop. What is wrong with them? That implying about how that's a big tactic in advertising just to play on people's insecurities. Meghan is so not wrong. It's just like those fitness companies that sell you weird juice cleanses or slim shakes that don't do shit by making people feel bad about their weight in the ads. Disgusting. I will never cease to be baffled by people sticking their head where they don't fucking belong. This is disgusting and just flat out wrong. It's one thing if someone asked you for their opinion, but to give one and then have that opinion just be shitty and ill-favored is disgusting. This is low-key how I feel about some makeover shows. Although I love the occasional queer eye, just imagine how these people feel in the beginning, finding out that everyone has been looking at them and judging them for wearing what makes them feel most comfortable or in the moment. Or for wearing what makes them feel most comfortable in the moment. Or maybe they want help and they just don't know how to, and instead they're shamed on national TV/shitty TikToks. Yeah, Monty and I talk about that a lot with like Queer Eye, where it's like if someone was like looking for like, hey, I've made like a big change, or like I'm in a new job, or I want clothes that provide gender euphoria, and there is like a shift in this of being like, hey, there's a strong pivot here that like I am seeking out advice from my friends, and like they're not an expert on this. I need more help than that. But sometimes, yeah, like remember like What Not to Wear?
I was about to bring that up, but they have a new show now.
Yeah, and they both have acknowledged that
like,
they were like, we don't love how, like, they're like, I'm glad that this show has aged poorly. Like, I'm glad that we've moved past this kind of stuff. And like, and I love the fact that they didn't just like, slink back into the background. They made another show that they said they're more proud of.
Yeah, it's called, it's like a play on that. It's like wear whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm. And they're friends again. They had some beef
they had a falling out.
And I think they even both said like we were just like, got famous fast, and like we both were kind of assholes. And I was like, the maturity. Mm-hmm. Someone else said Lord Farquaad haircut and anal bead necklace was so accurate. Oh my God, the Lord Farquaad haircut. Oh my God, she actually looks like him. Yeah, the hair is like, it's truly uncanny. Someone else said, nothing could have prepared me for that necklace. Oh my God.
Is that one of those teething necklaces?
I told you, doesn't it kind of also look like the thing you tie your curtains back with?
Yeah, a tie back.
I think I said in the other episode. Someone else said, oh my God, that necklace with the hair is truly just so much worse than what I was imagining. Someone else said, this lady sucks. Her necklace used as anal beads would surely rupture something though. Damn. Yeah, that's it.
All right, then we have writer number 1. Are they wrong for being frustrated their surgery is being moved for cancer patients? 28% said the writer is wrong. 72% said the writer is not wrong. This feels like what I'm dealing with my health issues. I finally got a surgery schedule after all this time. I still have to wait at least 3 months to actually get my surgery, and it's scheduled, of course, for the most inconvenient time. Part of me is scared it'll be pushed back even further. The writer definitely isn't wrong, but this is just an issue with the healthcare system overall. I really hope that they can get in and get their surgery soon so that this minor issue does not become a major one. I feel like there should be some system in place that your surgery can only be pushed back so many times before you take just as much priority as the more emergent cases. Agree. Someone else said it's evil to play with her mental health like that. Yeah. Another person said, if any of the lumps are actually cancer, the writer should sue for medical malpractice. There has to be somewhere else they can send them, hoping they're not really rural. Someone else said, fuck the American healthcare system. Another person said, the healthcare system is fucked As a Canadian dealing with chronic illness, the push towards privatization is causing all types of issues, including situations like this. Another person said, I hope the writer gets their surgery. Would love an update on this. Good luck to the writer and stay strong. Someone else says, writer needs to prioritize their health. Meghan and Melisa are right. If surgeons can only do so many per day and cancer patients always get priority, then it sounds like they will never be able to do writer's surgery. Maybe it would be worth asking the scheduler or your doctor what the wait time usually is at this hospital for writers' combined surgery in comparison to just doing a lumpectomy or in comparison to other hospitals. Writer also has way more patients than me after the second reschedule. I'd be finding another doctor.
Then we have writer number 2. Are they wrong for finding their coworkers who post patients on social media disgusting and unethical? 3% said the writer is wrong. 97% said the writer is not wrong. Writer is so not wrong. They should report these colleagues. I would be surprised if taking pictures with patients is allowed just because they are not in the U.S. And even without legal repercussions, there is no way their employer would support this kind of behavior. I agree, unless it is a religious hospital. And then sometimes religious hospitals, they literally have like pictures up on the walls of, medical missionary work. Someone said, not only is it wrong, it's illegal. That's the part that I hope it is. Like, I hope that I hope it's illegal. I hope that doesn't just apply if it's on U.S. soil with U.S. patients. Someone else said, as a counselor for schools, I even get anxious when kids ask me to take a picture of them doing something in my office. Even when I do, I show it to them and maybe send it to their parent and then delete it off my phone. The idea of even pulling out a phone before giving someone surgery and posting them on social media is so invasive. If I was the writer, I'm definitely reporting them and becoming a troll on their social media, commenting things like, crazy how somebody went in for surgery and ended up on social media, or something like that. It definitely gives...
You think you ate in that surgery.
I literally was about to say that. It definitely gives a look at me with such a white savior complex, and these bitches need to be fired and investigated. You thought you ate with that scalpel. You know how that would hurt their feelings so much in like the best way.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with healthcare, let alone anyone who works in it, you know how important HIPAA is. And while I understand that legally doesn't apply to the situation, the morals still do. They have no right to be able to post unconscious people without their consent so they can feel like a savior with all the good work they do. It's disgusting, and the writer is not wrong at all. Unfortunately, HIPAA is not about morality. Like, it is about like legality. Like, there are things that are like HIPAA compliant that like are morally corrupt. Mm-hmm. That is it.
All right, then we have my wrong of the week. John Riley, not to be confused with John C. Riley.
I did when I was Googling
from
to
General
get a picture.
Hospital.
I said,
R.I.P. Do you know who his daughter is?
Yeah, I do. Hold on. I'm not looking up. I'm looking up him to remind me of his face.
She looks nothing like him. But they have the same last name.
I don't know. Wait, John C. Riley died?
Oh, no. I'm
He's
not
alive.
talking. No, there's another man. Hold on.
Oh, yes. John Riley.
John Riley from General Hospital.
I knew it. I was like, it's that fucking girl.
Yeah.
Caitlin Riley from TikTok.
Yes. They did a special episode when he passed away. He hasn't been on the show in a long time, but he was a spy on the show. And they did it in the episode. And it was like right after the pandemic when she had blown up, and she was never an actress on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought it in where she was being tested by the other spies on the show to become a spy. It was really sweet. And she came on playing the daughter that they had on the show because she was never that young girl was never around that much anyway. So that she was just like a quote unquote recast. It was really sweet.
Oh, wow. When she was 10, she wanted to leave school to become a child actor. Her parents said, no, bitch.
No.
She went to Immaculate Heart in Los Feliz. She went to AMDA. So they gave her a lot of money for that. She grew up in Hancock Park. Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part where, do you love those Hancock Park?
Yes, you and I have talked about it.
No, yeah. So you and Mott's, when like, if it's like won the lottery, that's a place where and I'm like, can't catch me there. The way that I think it's so crazy that those houses are so beautiful. Most of them aren't. not great on the inside, but like a lot, they're just beautiful homes. But what do you mean it's $10 million on like one of the busiest
street.
fucking
but
wide
remember,
ass
you and I had this conversation of if we could pick up Hancock Park and move it, then we'd be there. But then we were like, that's just Pasadena.
I was going to say, that's just Pasadena. Welcome to Orange Street. Like, yeah, it is crazy. Like,
yeah, that's
so
where Shonda Rhimes
growing up there.
Shonda Rhimes has a house there. Well, her first house that she bought.
I don't know how you have kids in Hancock Park without thinking they're going to get hit by a car.
Yeah, but there are there are less busy streets.
Sure. They're still filled with cars.
They're still filled with cars. It's just slow.
They're in traffic because there's a stop sign.
Yep.
But yeah, it is crazy. You would never expect. It's like the same thing at like, what is that sushi restaurant that like all of the people always talk about, like the celebrities going to that sushi restaurant. I'm like, that's literally in a strip mall. Like it's on the second story of a strip mall.
Mm-hmm. I was shocked when I saw that's what they were talking about.
Yeah. And everyone's like, I gotta go there. And I was like,
no, you don't.
No, you don't. Like, but that is like very LA, where it's like you zoom out and you go, whoa, this is the context. This is the location.
Yeah. So this John Riley, not to be confused with John C. Riley or the John Riley that I was referring to.
Or Caitlin Riley's father.
Yes. 96% said that he is wrong. 4% said he was not wrong. You 4%? I gotta check your... Are you carrying and you just shoot people that come to your door? Someone said if you get mad enough at people knocking on your door to shoot them, you should not be allowed to own a gun. What the actual fuck?
If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
This episode is brought to you by Factor. Optimize your nutrition this year with Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal service. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from 40 weekly options across 8 dietary preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Eat smarter at factormeals.com/listen50 and use code listen50 for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Factormeals.com/listen50, code listen50. T's and C's apply.
Clorox Sentiva smells like grapefruit. Cleans like Clorox. And feels like... yeah.
Okay, we could be here all day. Try Clorox Sentiva for a trusted clean with long-lasting freshness. Also available in lavender and coconut. Use as directed.
Then we have my nomination for Wrong of the Week, Sophia Colpo. 97% said Sophia's wrong. 3% said Sophia is not wrong. I'm really glad that there's a visual component of this so everyone can see the fear in this fucking baby's eyes. That this baby is shocked she's saying this. This is like even the weirder version of the one-drop rule, and I hate it. Please keep her away from that poor baby. That child can feel her vibes because they look wildly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone else said, I hope the brother and wife distance themselves from this woman. I fucking hope so, too. Also, by the way, I looked up her brother. This baby looks nothing like her brother. Like, cool. Looked up the mom. This baby looks like the baby's mother. Like, there is nothing about this baby that I go, oh my God, those Coppola genes.
Those genes really fought through. No.
Or Colpo.
I know. And
it's hard.
I couldn't find it because Sofia Coppola is very close to the same name.
Oh my God.
And I had remembered that you had sent me the original one so I could go back and look at it.
It's tough. Like it's and I don't want to conflate the two because one of them making art, the other making racism.
Catch me outside.
Yeah. I'll do it inside. I'll do it anywhere. Someone said, Jaw is still on the floor 24 hours after listening to this one. Even the baby looks horrified. Yeah. And someone said, damn, didn't even need to listen to this. I know even just right from the caption. Damn, just go right out and say it. I'm racist. So someone else said, Sophia's a racist piece of shit. Baby does look terrified. Hopefully the parents cut contact with this lady. This baby does not deserve to grow up with a racist aunt. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, there's multiple aunts. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them. And one of the other ones is also pregnant, apparently. That is it. But I would like to give an update to when we called in our last But Am I Wrong, we had asked for our resident Bostonian to give some input on when we found out about the Liberty Hotel where transphobic shenanigans took place, then finding out that they within that have a coffee shop bar such thing that they've called the Clink, and that this whole thing was a former jail, not too far in the past whatsoever. So we asked our local Bostonian what the vibes are. And they said, the old jail at the Liberty has 2 bars, Alibi and Clink. Both are just as weird. It's crazy to me how popular these spots are. The culture around it is strange. Everyone knows it's a hotel/bar, but people see it as cool and not weird. I think some of it is because so many places in Boston have dicey histories that you can't really avoid repurposing them all. I know. Well, that's what because I was like, when I was talking to Mott's about it, Mott's was like, I mean, it's Boston. Like, I think if there's any place where you'd be able to succeed, like, I think people in Boston would go, like, I think they'd go. And I was like, I get, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you decided to throw like a concert at like the Cecil Hotel, it's empty. No one's fucking going. Like, no one's going. And if anyone is unfamiliar,
no.
Like, so that's what I'm saying. So I'm
people
like,
we should explain the Cecil Hotel. People just go missing.
They die.
They end up in water towers, and then the residents drink the water and don't like. This tastes bad. The people that work there are like, pipes, old pipes.
No, like out of towners will like come in and be like, I want to see the Cecil Hotel. If you live in LA, you go,
no, I'm not going anywhere near there.
I'm not even turning on the street.
The people that do go there are people that like need somewhere to stay that's low cost, which is understandable. But you're not just going there at a tourist attraction. No,
we don't fuck with that. Like, and I think that and like Mats was talking about, like, there's a distinct difference between like people like we don't do that. And I will say the thing that I think is crazy that we do, that like locals do, is the Hollywood Cemetery. Like, I think that's crazy.
I don't go see movies there.
Mats got tickets one time and I had never been. And he didn't, it was a surprise. And we got there and I was like,
you know what? And you didn't give me a follow up to that. And in my head, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Melissa,
I literally was like looking around like, thankfully we couldn't find a spot to sit, which by the way is on graves. And I'm like, and I was like, I know that you, and cause it was one of my favorite movies. It was A League of Their Own. That's why he booked it there. And he was like, and afterwards I was like, so, and he goes, I never would have booked it if it wasn't this. And I was like, yeah, even a movie I love, I'm not cool seeing it in a graveyard. I just feel it's like, I think it's a little disrespectful. So many places in Boston have dicey histories that you can't avoid repurposing them all, but they don't need to be hotels or bars that make crude references or original use. Clink, yes, the use of the clink of jail, bars, cells. Also, the hospital bought the hotel in the 90s and had some. It wasn't even a hotel, though, in the 90s. It was still a jail. And had some proposals for a new use, but that required significant elements of the building that the required specifics of the elements of the building needed to be historic, like keep them historic.
Kind of hard to do with a hospital that needs to be up to date.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. MGH owns a ton of that part of Boston too. The Alibi bar was part of the old jail where they sent drunk people in the drunk tank, so slightly less weird than the Clink, but still.
It feels like you're laughing then at the people that were drunk. Yeah. They're like, now people just get drunk here on purpose.
But also, like, then call it the tank, but calling it Alibi? Like, Alibi is like that's more of like a series, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like testimony. Like, that's like a wide range. Like, your alibi could be like, oh, I wasn't here killing this person. Or like, oh, I didn't run that traffic light. Here's my alibi for that. But like, the tank, that's all encompassing of the drunk tank. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you get tanked at the tank.
Yes.
Like that does make sense, but like, I still don't like that it's a bar.
No, specifically it happens in every fucking prison, but like the fact that on record, they had to shut down this prison because of the poor treatment of the prisoners, of the people who are incarcerated there, is fucking crazy to me. So thank you, Bostonian, for the Boston call. I was going to make a Duncan joke. Or maybe you park that car? Kaka, we got a call for the Boston. Mott's is better than me.
It was fine.
Thanks. He's been doing the last like 24 hours is quoting, he's quoting Zachariah on TikTok doing an impression of Blake Lively from The Town. No, Zachariah, like literally Mott sits down and he goes, can you find that gay guy on TikTok who does the impressions and he does like a Blake Lively impression from The Town? And I was like, I've never seen that video in my life. And he goes, no, I swear. And I like literally looked up gay man does impression Blake Lively, The Town. And he goes, him. And I'm like, okay, this is someone I follow, Zachariah. And as soon as we're watching it, it's from 2022. And Mats goes, I think maybe Kyle showed this to me. And I was like, yeah, it is funny. But he's doing a terrible... At
your birthday party?
From 2022? Like that, like...
That's what I'm saying. It would have been, because that was during the
It's 3 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Whatever. Or Kyle texted him something because he knows Mats loves that movie. But like, objectively, this impression of Blake Lively is horrible. Like, it is so bad. But Mats has nailed the impression of him doing the impression. And like, it is quite funny. And we watched it 3 times.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Lights, camera, innovation. Walt Disney Studios chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform the movie-making process. Together, we kept a remote production hub in Hawaii in sync with a team in California to bring Lilo and Stitch to theaters this summer. This is picture-perfect collaboration. This is Walt Disney Studios with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
I do want to say this. And we've already, like, it was gonna be my wrong of the week, but we've already done it as a wrong of the week. But fuck Caitlin Clark.
Fuck her, fuck her boyfriend, fuck her friend, fuck them all. Fuck her team, fuck them
the
all.
Fans.
Fuck them all, fuck them all, fuck them all.
Fuck RG3 that's been saying that shit about Angel Reese. Like, fuck all of you.
And I want anyone who is, like, not up to date on this, who, like, this is not the sport you follow. She is, like, this is like Michaela Skinner all over again, of like Michaela Skinner's like family, friends, boyfriend, like liking horrendous, like people like, well, no, she didn't say that. Her boyfriend's liking horrible shit.
And then Caitlyn gets up in an interview and she has this sick little smirk on her face saying, you know, I didn't hear any of the racist things. And if it happened, which
it didn't,
it might have happened, but that's why an investigation is being done. Bitch. You didn't hear it. Everybody else heard it, but you didn't hear it.
You have ears. You also have eyes. You
fucking
see those,
liar.
Like the fact that like your name is synonymous and like is you like in groups of people who are just using it as excuse to be like, your name is being used for racism. Like you know that. You know that. Your team knows. Like we all know that. This idea of being like, I don't know, I just play basketball. No. To me, at this point, if it's like I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan, I'm like, yeah, dog whistle.
Yep, it is. It has to be because, like, if you're like, we need this like great white hope for basketball, which it has come to, then you've got other options. Why don't you pick one of the other ones?
Also,
you know why you're not picking them? Because they're not racist.
No, but that's the thing that I'm like, the way that people are being like, oh, finally. And I go, do you think she's the first white woman on the WNBA?
No.
Like, why are, like, people are treating this as being like, God, we really needed one. I go, try and find a team that doesn't have a single white woman.
Right.
Tell me. Huh? Pisses me the fuck off.
Paige is right there. She's a better player than Caitlin Clark. Ooh,
she is. Did you ever see? I saw this TikTok a couple months ago of this guy who tweeted, who's like I think he's like a local news guy or something, who tweeted a picture of Paige when she's like 11 and said, "Remember this name?
Yes, I did see it.
She's gonna be huge." And the guy was like, everyone's like, "Why was this like random guy at like open court?" And he was like, yeah, it was just like, it was my kid played in high school. It was like an open court for this. And like, there was like a JV middle schoolers who came to play. And then like, she started playing the high schoolers and was like kicking their fucking ass.
Yep.
And I was like,
Yep.
Oh, it just makes me, she also, the way that like, if you want to pick, if you're like, I have to pick a white woman on the WNBA who like I love. You having to pick Caitlin Clark over the rest of them when it is I'm so committed to a racist who can't dress.
Yeah.
That's the part you go, no, I can't let go of that. I can't let go. Disgusting. Disgusting, nasty, nasty, nasty. Hate it. Did you see Steve Madden on the Cutting Room Floor podcast clips yet? So this is a podcast that I tell you about all the time. You said, I have no idea who this is. And I said,
Still don't.
No. And then you went to your TikTok and you go, well, I do follow her. And I said, I know you do.
Okay.
So she had Steve Madden on.
Like me and Sierra. I see Sierra, don't know it's Sierra. I don't know when it comes to Sierra, I have face blindness for her. She does not look like, I'm like, that's a pretty girl. Don't know who it is. I literally see her I've been 4 feet away from her in person. I said, that's Sierra, but I see a picture of Sierra. I don't know that's Sierra.
Hey, you know, that's me and all those men. All those men who look all the fucking same. But she had Steve Madden on her podcast, and her podcast is like a Patreon exclusive called The Cutting Room Floor. And first of all, Steve Madden, an icon. Like the way that like I'm about to fill my cart and just buy shit because I'm addicted. He like goes off on this rant about like tariffs and like Trump and like all this shit. I also didn't know. I'm marrying a straight man. Of course, I've seen Wolf of Wall Street. Thankfully, he's not one of those men.
I've heard Wolf of Wall Street because a straight man was playing it in the other room, and I was like, I'm trying to go to sleep, but I heard all of it.
The way the chokehold that Wolf of Wall Street and the Joker like have on men needs to be studied.
I haven't been around a Joker lover that was a lover of mine, so I've looked out in that way. But
no, the way that they'll like nonstop quote it, and I go, you have to stop. Like it's not good. You're not doing like Mats doesn't. He does not do the voice in the quote, but like whew, boys always think like this is going to kill. And I go, you know, you all do this, right? Every single one of you. But I didn't know that like, there's like a reference. They talk about like Steve Madden as like Steve Madden, the person in Wolf of Wall Street, about like getting caught up in it. And like, I didn't think that was necessary. Cause like, you know, yes, it's based on Jordan Belfort's life or whatever, but like, I thought like creative expression or whatever. No, she's talking to him and he's like, well, yeah. And that's when I went to jail. Cause you know, the Wolf of Wall Street guys. And I was like, whoa, what? And like, I'm very interested in this. And then she did one of like showing all of these different designer shoes of being like, or showing the shoes that he's made of being like, okay, you make designer dupes. He goes, dupes? No, we're inspired. We're inspired.
And he's gotten sued so many times.
No, literally. And he goes, we don't copy. We can't do that anymore. And I was like, he's so funny about it. And so she's showing him. And then he goes, oh, yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. And he goes, but ours, very nice, and like, he's being so funny. And I now kind of want to watch Wolf of Wall Street again. And I'm going to join her Patreon so I can watch this full episode. Because like, I had no idea that this man went to like, and then she asks him like, oh, do you still like keep in contact? He's like, did you make any friends in jail? And he goes, yeah, tons. Like, still friends with them to this day. And a lot of like people he was friends with in jail, when they get out, he'll hire them. Oh. And like, he's very big into that. And even different, like like Steve Madden stores or whatever, that's like one of their ethos, even if it's not people he personally knows, but like, you know, helping the formerly incarcerated and all of that. And I was like, oh my God, because restaurants are pretty much like the only like widespread countrywide assimilation programs that are not ones that you are already a part of in jail, like in California firefighters. But I'm like, Steve Madden, I was deeply unfamiliar with your game, and like, kind of wish he got away with this whatever crimes he committed with taxes and. But
I think it's good that he didn't, because then he wouldn't have been in that position to hire people.
Well, then he talks about he's like, yeah, I just like got too greedy too fast, and like he's like I wasn't like duped, I wasn't like confused. He's like, I did something I knew I wasn't supposed to do, and I did it, and like wouldn't do it again. And like he has like such an aggressive like New York accent too. And I'm like, I love this. Like, I never even like thought about the person behind Steve Madden. Like, I never thought about who he was.
Never thought about Steve.
No. And I should have, because once we all learned about Marc Jacobs, which I knew about Marc Jacobs.
I've always known about Marc Jacobs. But That's what was confusing to me.
This is for kids who didn't watch Project Runway. this Marc Jacobs, Marc Jacobs on TikTok is brand new.
No, but I've always known who Marc Jacobs was.
It's the kids. Because he loved being a guest judge on any fucking competition show.
But it wasn't even that, because I don't watch any of those shows. But I just knew I followed him on Instagram. He was probably one of the first people I followed on Instagram.
Oh, I love that. But I'm like,
and he like the way he looked in the 90s is totally different than how he looks now. Yeah.
A lot of people being like, this is not what I expect Marc Jacobs to look like. And I was like, are you kidding?
Right.
This is not what you expected Marc Jacobs to look like? Okay, like Marc Jacobs has always been campy. Like that was like always the fucking point. They were like, I thought he would look like Ralph Lauren. I was like, there's literally no way. There's absolutely no way.
Ralph Lauren just wears jeans and flannel every day.
And that's why in that episode of Friends, Rachel was confused.
I remember him on Oprah, because then they redid the whole set. I think they went to his house that was like on a farm or some shit like that. Mm-hmm.
That is it.
Mm-hmm. You said that is. I said that.
Oh, so we're not twinning totally.
Nope. Join us tomorrow for an old episode that you're going to find on your own. Thursday, we've got Don't Blame Me. Friday, you are going to get thoroughly fisted. And then Monday is But Am I Wrong? We'll be back here on Tuesday, because we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Can you actually change your personality if you want to? How does peer pressure work, and why is it so powerful? Should you ever really trust your gut when you make a big decision? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and each episode of Something You Should Know covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. You'll discover things you can use in your life today, right now, like how to have a great conversation, how to be more courageous, the anatomy of the perfect apology, and much, much more. To date, there are over 1,000 episodes of Something You Should Know, and we've gotten over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. Something You Should Know, wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
Let's hang out.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee, and we're the co-hosts of Let's Hang Out, a show about LGBTQ representation in the media, because representation matters. Come hang out with us to talk about all of the characters that should have been gay.
Because every movie or TV show would be better if it was gay.
Listen to us interview your favorite LGBTQ actors and creators.
Elise Bauman from Carmilla.
It just reminds me of every time a queer woman becomes single, there's this high-pitched siren that goes out that only other queer women can hear, and they're like, what was that? Did I just hear the bat signal? Is a queer woman single again?
So binge on Let's Hang Out wherever you listen to podcasts, and hang out with us every Monday for your weekly LGBTQ fix.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.